Hi everybody. So in this video, I just want to give a quick overview of what's going to be happening in O11 this week and explain how it relates back to what we're doing in 101. So in 101, we're currently finishing up our first unit. Your first paper will be due. Every time we finish a unit in 101, there's going to be an opportunity in O11 to reflect on the things that you did in the unit that you either struggled with or that you did well, or ideas and tips and tools that you can take into the future. There's always going to be a chance in O11 to take a moment and reflect on how the unit went, because that's one of the ways that we really make progress in learning, not only by getting through the process of doing what we're asked to, but then stopping and reflecting a little bit about it. So there's at the end of every unit, in O11, there's going to be an opportunity to reflect back on that unit. And that's what the journal or presentation on the personal essay is. So if you click on this assignment, what you're going to be asked to do is either create a 1 to 3 paragraph journal reflection, so a Microsoft Word document where you write 1 to 3 organized paragraphs, or a short presentation. You can do that however you would like. You can use Screencast-O-Matic like I currently am, or whatever video casting service that you might want to use to create a video. And you'll do a short presentation, probably with Google Slides or with Microsoft Word slides, where you explain your response to one or more of the prompts. So you can choose to do either. And what you're going to be talking about is an explanation of what the hardest part of the writing process was for you in Unit 1, and also some tips or habits, strategies, or resources that were helpful to you in overcoming or dealing with that stage of the writing process that was difficult. And then you can also answer what part of the writing process was the simplest for you to navigate, and what did you do to make that so simple? What did you find the most useful? Because what you say here can really help guide you in the future. If you say something like, well, a part of the writing process that really helped me was that I was confused. So I emailed the teacher and we talked on Zoom and I got a clearer idea of what I was doing. That is an idea that, if that helped you get through this first assignment, is probably something that you want to keep doing to help you with future assignments. If you get confused again, reach out. Or you might say, well, the one part of the writing process that was the simplest for me to navigate was, you know, the first annotation assignment, because I watched all of the videos and I read all the materials that were linked in the announcement, and I had a really clear idea of what I was doing going in, and I did really well. If you say that that's the part of the writing process that you did well on and you notice why, then you can replicate that behavior and continue to watch all of the videos and continue to read all of the assigned materials to get an idea of what the assignments are before you do them. So it's a way of reflecting on your good habits and the tools you have available to make your writing and the process of writing easier, and the resources that you can look into to kind of help you navigate those things. So that's what the journal or presentation is about. And what you'll be doing is uploading it. So if you make a presentation, you can just submit the MP4 file. If you make a Microsoft Word document, you can just submit the Microsoft Word document. That's what you'll be turning in. So just a quick little reflection. Do pay attention to your word choice and things like that, and do try and make it formal English. Do the best you can in terms of professional academic writing. But this is a pretty low stakes assignment in terms of getting it fulfilled, because what I want you to really do is reflect and think about what you learned and what you can take into the future. So it doesn't need to be pages and pages, just 1 to 3 short paragraphs, or a 1 to 3 minutes reflecting on what you learned from writing the personal essay. The other thing that you have due this week is the Unit 2A progress checkpoint. I'm also going to put in the announcement a couple of these that I think would be helpful to read over. I don't know that we need to read all of them, but I think that the evaluating sources, the CRAP article, is going to be helpful, so I will include that to read. But as far as the other thing you need to do is the Unit 2A progress checkpoint. So I know last week that some people struggled trying to figure out exactly what they were doing in O11 because a lot of you went ahead and did what you were supposed to do for O11 before you even needed to. So a lot of you went ahead and filled out your title page and had your references already, and then you kind of looked at O11 and you're like, wait, what am I supposed to do? Here's my paper again, which is totally fine. But I do want to spend a little time explaining what you're doing in O11 here and how it can help you with 101. So if you look at the Unit 2A progress checkpoint, all I'm asking you to do is annotate. If you look over in 101, you'll see that annotation is recommended but not required. In this case, if you're taking O11, I'm going to go ahead and require it because it is a chance for you to get into the reading, to really break down the things that you need to know from the article. So what we have here is just an explanation of what you need to do. Annotate the article that you chose as your reading number 2 from the Reading 2 Options folder in 101. So in 101, you have 3 options for articles for your reading number 2, which will be the focus of your Unit 3 essay. And whatever topic you're talking about will be the focus of the research that you're doing in Unit 2 in 101. So one of these 3 articles you're going to choose. You're going to pick which one you think sounds the most interesting to you. You can look at all of them and decide after you've skimmed them or after you've read them in depth, but you're going to pick one and you're going to say, this is the one that I choose. This is my reading number 2. And then you're going to annotate it. And this time, instead of just marking it up, I have some specific things I'd like you to put on your annotations. I know you can do annotations because we've already submitted it once. So it's going to be pretty much the same thing, submitting either visible, readable pictures of your annotations on the article, your handwritten annotations on the article, or if you choose to do it in a Word document, that works too. You're going to upload those things. But when we talk about the annotations, a couple things I want you to do. Somewhere in your annotations, identify what the topic of the article is. Somewhere in your annotations, identify the main idea, the main point that the author wants to make about the topic. If you can't find a single sentence that sums that up, write one yourself in the notes. I think the main idea is da-da-da-da-da-da. Mark every piece of evidence that you see. So if you see something that's a piece of evidence for the argument, go ahead and highlight that a certain color. Make sure you make a note of what color it is. Underline it. Just mark all the evidence so you get a good idea of whether or not the article has a lot of evidence in it. And then the last couple things I want you to do are things I suggested already. Research the author a little bit and include a note about what you found or didn't about them. And Google the source, which is the newspaper, the journal, the magazine, the website that the article came from, and then give a little note about what you learned. So if you incorporate those into your annotations, you're going to be going a long way to evaluating this, and you're going to have this ready to go for when we get to Unit 3. So one of the advantages of doing this is when we get to Unit 3, you're going to have a clearer idea of the article itself when you go to summarize and respond to that article. So that's why I want you to do this. As far as order of operations, I usually tell you to do your O11 stuff first. This week, it doesn't really matter as much what order you do it in. You just need to get it all done as well as all the other tasks that you have coming in 101 by Sunday. So I can try and incorporate into kind of like a suggested schedule for you the way that I did in 101, but none of this really needs to come before or after. It's just sort of tasks that you want to do to help you out in terms of understanding your article and understanding your process in Unit 1. So there's not really a set time when you have to do this in the schedule. It's just sort of just make sure it gets done by Sunday the 20th.